Hey everybody, happy Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on Comics from the Future. This is our weekly show where we're going to preview some awesome upcoming new series, cool variant covers, and other things and news we just don't want you to miss. In case you didn't know, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with infinityfluxcomics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That is correct. And if you want to know more about us, please hit the subscribe button below. We do videos multiple times every single week. And also in the description box, check out other links to our Instagram and stuff like that, including our new Whatnot. We're a user on there now. We're actually doing our second show tonight. So if you're watching this on Friday, you can go see us on Whatnot. So please go do that. We're almost at 100 followers on that. So that would be really cool to reach 100 today.
What time are you going to be on Whatnot?
At 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.
Okay, yeah, Megan will be running that.
All right, so yeah, like we said, this is going to showcase some cool upcoming stuff for you to put it on your pull list and get your orders out there before it's too late. Might sell out on the shelf if you miss this show.
Okay, so we're going to begin with our featured comics of the week. Before we get started, I have to say a little bit of a light ordering week. So, you know, it's light on the wallet, lets you catch up, lets you read through the things that you didn't get to last week, bag and board the stuff needs bagging and boarding, but still some good featured ones for sure.
Yes, because we have 8 billion genies. Yes, this is from Charles Soule and Ryan Brown, the team that brought you Curse Words. I'm very excited about this. The more I read about it, the more just insane it sounds. And they say this could be even crazier than Curse Words, which by itself was nuts.
Yeah.
So what is 8 billion genies? Well, in this book, there is genies that appear to everyone on Earth, and everyone gets one wish. What kind of chaos will that create? So it's funny, in interviews with Ryan Brown about this, he was like, oh, this sounds cool. And then he realized kids also get one wish. He's like, oh, now I get to draw whatever I want. And Charles Soule has to deal with the complicated story stuff. And I'm just drawing crazy stuff in the background. So I am very excited about this. It is a mini series. It is 8 issues long. 8 issues for 8 billion genies. And there are some preview pages online for this as well that you can check out that are really fun. The genies kind of pop up and give you their spiel. You get one wish, not 3.
Yep.
And you've got to think carefully about it because your intentions behind the wish kind of factor into it. So I think you talked about it when you read the preview pages on our Tuesday show. You know, who's going to be the first one to make a wish? What's going to be the ramifications of that one wish? And, you know, I'm excited to see, are certain people's wishes like used to counteract other wishes, and how is this all going to play out? Sounds very dangerous, but also very fun. I love the contrast between these cute little genies too, and the more realistic art. So I'm very excited about this. This is 8 billion genies. There's some variant covers for this as well. Starting with a FRISON cover. Did not expect to see a Jenny FRISON cover for such a bonkers idea, but here's that one.
That person in the background is very unimpressed with these wishes.
Oh yeah,
They've got their own wish ideas.
they wish that they were just a little bit more passive about things. Then we have the Declan Shalvey variant. There's all 8 billion genies on that cover. And then we have a blank sketch cover, and you can draw whatever you wish. There you go.
I like that.
All the wish puns.
I didn't know this was only 8 issues. So I wonder if they're going to try to do like the first billion in the first issue, the second billion.
Yep.
But, you know, ever since I heard this idea, which was just the other week, I've been thinking, you know, how do I think it would go? And I can't wait to see what they do with it, because I bet you it's going to be every 10 seconds there's a new richest person in the world.
Yeah.
And then now this person's the richest. Now this is. And new world leaders every 10 seconds. And
There's going to be your wave of people who immediately make a wish, just like an impulse. And then there's the people who are going to like hold back and wait and see.
And people are going to group up, I would see, you know, to make their, you know, they all agree on it. So it's like if you have 100 people all wishing the same thing, they can override anyone who's trying to override them. Anyway, this just set my mind spinning. I'm really looking forward to it.
Next up from DC and Milestone is Blood Syndicate. More Milestone goodness. This is going to be a 6-part miniseries written by Jeffrey Thorne and the original Blood Syndicate artist, CHRISCROSS. So that's really cool. Back from the 90s, he's back again. The 90s are back. Literally, in some cases. Anyway, Blood Syndicate was different from a lot of other Milestone books because they were actually a gang that got affected by the Big Bang and decided to use their powers to come together and be a force for good. So, just by their own nature, they have a little bit more of witty banter and a lot more communication going on, I guess you could say, in their own way. As gangs would do. Anyway, this original series was really groundbreaking in the topics it covered. It was one of the first to really have LGBTQ members as well, so it really paved the way, I would say, for a lot of modern comics. And yeah, basically what's going to go on in this is that the team leaders have returned to their city and find it to be in a devastated state, so they decide to reunite, re-team up again, and the infamous Holocaust villain is basically taking Big Bang babies, they call them Bang babies, yeah, and making a rival gang out of them as well. So, anyway, lots going on in this series. It's just going to be 6 issues. So if that sounds cool to you, for the Milestone universe, check it out. This is the cover A from Dexter Soy. Then we have this is the old school version from CHRISCROSS himself. And then a cover C from NIKOLAS DRAPER-IVEY.
Does anyone know if this title was delayed at all? I only say that because, Static and Hardware, both their season 1s just ended. I was expecting Blood Syndicate a little earlier.
It didn't seem like that based on my research.
It may be like a wave 2 of those, which is great that they're continuing after those first seasons.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so from Marvel, it is Thor issue number 25. This is the second part of the Thor-Hulk crossover, The Banner of War, which, of course, pits Thor up against this new Bruce Banner Hulk, the one where Bruce Banner is sort of in control of the Hulk. So this is going to be the second part to this. Who knows where they'll be at this point. It's also an issue 25, so they got to treat it super special. So it's double-sized. It's not just Donny Cates writing it. There's multiple stories in this issue with multiple writers. They're calling back a lot of classic Thor writers on this one. So looking forward to this. And this also says that there's going to be glimpses into the possible future of Thor and his allies. So one of those ones where you want to catch it just in case there's any of those first cameos or just, upcoming hints. I'm waiting to see Thanos or somebody who looks like Thanos, maybe his son, holding a hammer with infinity stones in it. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Yeah.
So we got several covers. This is the regular Frank cover. Then we have the green variant. Not literally the color green. GREENE. Then we have the J. Scott Campbell variant. We have the Ron Lim variant. The Shaw variant. This is going to be a connecting variant. I think it connects across Thor and Hulk. And then lastly we have the Zullo variant.
I want to see Beta Ray Bill versus Joe Fixit Hulk. That is the battle of the century. Okay, next up, the TMNT Last Ronin was so popular, we're doing something very similar to it at IDW. This is Transformers Last Bot Standing #1. So this is going to be a 4-issue miniseries about the last Cybertronian. But what's interesting about this is it's about a planet who's just on the verge of kind of industrialization, revolution, and this bot shows up on that planet, and they have one final mission to take on this world after all the other ones have either died or vanished or something, and this one kind of carries the weight of the entire Cybertronian history and sins and everything on his shoulders. So just like I think with Last Run, we don't quite know which Transformer this is going to be.
I know I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure it out right now. I already have a couple of ideas for who it's not. Unfortunately, I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see. Some people may be better at spotting certain Transformers than I am, but this sounds like a really cool series. This is by Nick Roche, and art is by E.J. Sue, some of the classic first wave people who came on IDW when they got the Transformers license. So this is our A cover. Then we have our MILNE cover. We have our SPENCE. And then our KNOTT. KNOTT.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's certain Transformers that have like giant shoulders or wheels sticking off of them. It's like, okay, it's probably not you.
Right.
But
I mean, I think everyone would think it would be Bumblebee, but I think by that it's a little too obvious.
Yeah.
So it won't be Bumblebee.
I would think it'd be interesting if it was like a Decepticon.
I thought
or
so
something.
too. Yeah, I was thinking Starscream. Like he's finally learned to shut
There's
up.
some preview pages that are black and white, and I'll say when you see the bot in it, they have kind of some like pokey parts that look very Starscream-ish. But that would be interesting to see Starscream, who's so crazy, kind of like humbled in this.
Okay, so next we're going to get to other number ones. They're not featured, but they still matter just as much.
All right, all you Harrow County fans got a new season of Tales from Harrow County. This is Lost Ones, and it's a 4-part miniseries. So what's happened in this is 10 years have passed since Emmy left Harrow County, and what happened during that time. It's the first Harrow County series that's going to take place outside of Harrow County. So what's she been doing? What has been going on in that time? This is one of the few, there's so many, horror series that I haven't read, and I love reading horror series, but it's been out of print for so long. I really hope they reprint the original graphic novel along with this as well. So anyway, new Harrow County miniseries for you. This is the cover A, and then we have the Crook cover B.
Yeah, the original Harrow County I really liked. It was very creepy, very atmospheric. I mean, talking flesh suits in drawers. It's crazy.
Okay, so the next number one is Vampirella Strikes. So, it's our job to read about these and kind of pulp it down to you of what it's about. But I kid you not, when I read about this, it literally said in the solicitation, Vampirella is poised to strike. That's nearly all it said. I had to read around to figure out, okay, well, what sets this apart from other Vampirella series? So this directly follows her last series, Vengeance of Vampirella. It's pretty much just swinging out of that with a new issue number 1. So if you were on that, you probably want to continue. Beyond that, it says that due to what happened in Vengeance of Vampirella, that this series is sort of set in a bit of a post-apocalyptic world. So I am not actually aware with how Vengeance of Vampirella ended, but it sounds like it ended pretty gruesomely for, not just a few people, but for the whole world or country or whatever area Vampirella is in. So that is what's going on, and Vampirella Strikes number 1. She's poised to strike.
Maybe by issue 2 she'll actually strike.
That's the climax. That's the last panel, last page of the last issue. So this is the Prio cover. Then we have the Yoon variant. We have the Caldwell variant. I like that. That's how she wakes up every morning. And then we have this hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is it. This is the Jim Lee homage variant.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
So do you know what classic Jim Lee cover that is?
I mean, it's familiar. Do tell.
Oh, I don't know. I was just asking. I feel like it's a Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolverine
It looks
pose.
like the original 1984 Wolverine ongoing series.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like
right. I think you're right. Now you mention it. The Wolverine number 1 ongoing. Good job.
I'll take my gold stars in the comments.
Okay, so Archie has crossed over with Predators, with Kiss, with the Punisher, but this could be one of the weirdest yet because he is meeting himself. This is Archie meets Riverdale one-shot. So this is just a one-shot where the kind of town brainiac Dilton creates a space-time continuum and brings the moody, dramatic Riverdale universe characters from the CW show into the bright and sunny Riverdale that we know from the comics. And hilarity ensues, I would suppose. It looks very interesting about how they kind of react to their other versions of themselves, because they are very, in some ways they're very similar, in other ways very, very different, because this is a very dramatic, Riverdale began as like a murder mystery show. So it'll be very fun to see how the two very opposite versions of the gang react to each other. And is comic Archie gonna fall for TV Betty, or are we gonna have some crazy love triangles in this?
They've got to do something like that.
Yeah, so you'll have to read it and see. Just a one shot. This is our A cover, and then we have this really nice Caldwell cover with the Riverdale characters reading a old Archie.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the expressions just really make it. And then when you look at the actual comic and the expressions on that too,
very good.
Okay, we got a second season of Bunny Mask. This is called Bunny Mask Hollow Inside. So she is free from her cave and ready to enact her own sense of dark justice from Aftershock. And this is one of the first in a series of things that Aftershock is doing with Maniac of New York. They went and did the season 2, and now they're doing the season 2 of Bunny Mask. So it's pretty cool to see their properties, and they love doing horror properties, but not just have one volume, but they're continuing on. So anyway, if you like the original Bunny Mask and all its creepiness, then you will certainly like this one. It does not say whether it's going to be a miniseries or not, but I'm sure it is. So yeah, check it out. Got another cover for you. Of course, our mask variant.
It was a very breakout hit when it came out. People were rushing to get Bunny Mask #1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from Behemoth, there's a new comic coming out called Neverender. So right away when I hear Neverender, reminds me of Nevermore, sort of poish. And so funny enough, there's something in this called crows, but they don't say what they are, so I had to speculate. So this is set in the future where us human beings, we have learned how to accelerate fast enough that we're all over space now. We have taken to the stars, we're in space, and it says in the far reaches of space, the predominant sport is sword duels to the death. And it lists these rules. It's very regimented, that you can't strike the other person unless they have their weapon, that it is a duel to the death. But it keeps saying that the crow, and I'm thinking that is what the ships are. I'm thinking these are going to be sort of like mech ships that we're using in space with swords. But it doesn't come out and say it. So, once again, this is me kind of speculating more on what this is about. Sounds really interesting. I read a lot of #1s around here, so I'm happy to know I'll be grabbing this one to see if I'm right or wrong. So that is what I could dig up on Neverender #1. And so here is some different covers. They're all done by the same artist, but this is the A cover. The B cover. The artist's last name is Kraft, spelled like my favorite version of the mac and cheese. Sorry, all you Velveeta people. Here is the C cover, and here is the D variant.
And this being a Behemoth, it's the writer and artist. It's the same.
All in one.
It's all single creator.
Yep, Kraft. He's doing it all.
And making Kraft mac and cheese
Get
at the
a
same
free
time.
coupon. All right, so now we're on to cool covers and other comics. This is where we're going to show you variants of other ongoing series that you might want to pick up.
Beginning with our second issue of Nightmare Country from the Sandman universe by James Tynion. Just read issue #1 of this week. Very creepy, very cool. Very much if you're a James Tynion fan of his other things, like Something's Killing the Children, you will definitely love this. And in issue #2, we pick up with Mr. Agony and Mr. Ecstasy as they are kind of going on, leaving a trail of bodies, let's say. We don't quite know what they're doing, but they are being followed by the Corinthian, who suspects some things. But, of course, he's got his own devious machinations going on with those teeth eyes. So, very interested to see where this series goes. Issue 1 was very good. So, this is our A cover. And then we have our Sorrentino variant.
Very creepy.
Very, very creepy.
That's the kind of comic, if I left lying around and my mom found it, she would have worried about me when I was a kid.
All right, we have Ocean Will Take Us, #2. #1 just released earlier this week, and this is basically about teenagers, so it's definitely set in a high school, and they uncover an unspeakable evil in their high school, but it connects to a larger conspiracy involving the entire town. So very 80s, mixed with some fantasy horror elements. So if you like #1, don't miss #2, and there's just one cover for this.
Okay, so here's the Michael Cho variant for Batgirls #6. And if the cover itself is not enough to make you want to get it, let me tell you a little bit about it. So Barbara Gordon has been kidnapped by this character Spellbinder. And his whole deal is he paints people and adds them to his collection. So she's under his hypnosis, and she has to break the hypnotic spell before he's done his painting, or else she gets added to the collection. I mean, that's the sort of story you only hear in comics for the most part.
When there's like countdown, we got to get there before he finishes.
Yeah, so I thought that premise, that just sounds really really appealing. So that's the Cho cover to it, and here is the Audrey Mock variant for Batgirls issue #6.
Next, we have Future State Gotham #13. This is the Bowden variant, and we've seen a big increase in our people picking up Future State Gotham. I think it's just, people think it's such a cool idea. I know the last one teased the big changes Nightwing is going through. So this one's really cool because this is the start of Batmen at war. Batman or Batmen? I don't remember which one it is. But in this, Hush and Talia al Ghul are teaming up to go find Damian Wayne. And it says, so a reunion of Batman and Robin can't be too far behind. So really cool bringing Batman and Robin together in this future state world. And yeah, if you haven't checked out this book, it's very unique, especially for a Big 2 comic being black and white. So check it out. This seems like a good place to start.
Yeah, I feel like ever since they introduced that Future State Joker, a bunch of people signed up and have stayed on it too.
And this is me. This is I Am Batman #9, the cardstock cover B by Gerardo Zaffino.
That's really cool. He's very big.
Okay, so this is the Cruz variant to Superman Son of Kal-El #11. So in this one, it says Jonathan Kent has had to deal with a lot of different things, a lot of different villains since the beginning of the series. But in this, can he cope with something? It says, can he cope with metahuman bombs? And the A cover just shows a bunch of people flying towards him in the ground. I mean, I assume these are literally people who are going to be like kamikaze bombing all over the place. So that's very scary and creative. So this is the Cruz variant for that, and here is the Brian Ching variant for Superman Son of Kal-El #11.
And next up is Wonder Woman 787. This is the John Boy Myers variant. Always love seeing his covers, very strong and striking. And this one sounds interesting because it's what lies in the treacherous waters surrounding Themyscira. So if there's weird stuff on the island, you know there's some weird stuff in the water right outside of it. I'm hoping big sharks. So, yep, this is the B cover for that.
I really like her hair, the way you did her hair in this.
All right, this is Eternals #12. What's going on in this issue is Thanos makes his final move to destroy our world. Quit doing that, Thanos.
He's had a lot of final moves to do that.
Yeah, really cool cover. This is the Art Adams cover.
That's a great
featuring the gauntlet.
cover.
Yeah, really cool. And then we have the Fuji Scroll variant, again for Eternals 12.
Okay, so this is the David Lopez Fortnite variant for Silk #5. I know it's a little hard to see that. There's no trade dress. Let me show you other variants. Here's the Kale New variant for it.
That's the Scroll variant. If you look closely, she's
Got
changing.
a little bit of the chin.
The chin.
Stuff. Yep. And here is the Wu variant for Silk #5. So Silk's been going up against this Korean witch who can turn young people old and has been stealing their youth. Well, in this issue, we're finally going to find out what the plan is. It wasn't just for the Korean witch to get younger. Apparently, there is a grand master plan that will be revealed in this issue.
Next up, I love this cover. This is for Wolverine 21. This is the Stegman variant. And in this, it says Wolverine unleashes his berserker rage when he teams up with Deadpool. As you can see there, he went right through Deadpool. So, sounds really cool. bringing the two reluctant, I don't want to call them friends. They just have to work together sometimes. So yeah, this is Wolverine 21. This is the Stegman variant, and then we have the Skrull Von Eden variant.
Very cool.
Something is killing the children. This is for issue number 23, and just as we had the die-cut versions before, we have it now. This is going to have the black first page over it. That's the mask. Before it was just black. Now we have the House of Slaughter face mask on there. So once again, for issue number 123, or 123, I'm predicting the future maybe.
Wow.
23. This is the regular variant, and then we have the bloody version as well.
Yeah, and I'd expect, like last time, a lot of people were waiting to see what was underneath, and I mean, it's cool and all, but it's about what you expect.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more blood. And there's not like they don't have like a lollipop, like a dum dum. They're sucking underneath there. Okay, so this is the Mattina A cover to Spawn number 329. In this issue, Spawn has accidentally kind of ripped a hole in time, and a Hellspawn from the past arrives with a dire warning. So have to see how all that plays out.
It's
So
a really cool cover too.
yes, this is the Mattina A cover, and then we have a blank sketch cover, and there's also this Keen variant for Spawn number 329.
Hey, next up we have the cover. This is the FOC reveal variant for Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, or just Mighty Morphin, number 19 by Clark. Really cool White Ranger cover.
And this is Immortal Red Sonja, number 2. A couple really cool covers we want to show you, including the Nakayama variant, which is always awesome. Somehow, he makes a red background just look so good. I don't know how he does it. And then we have the bonus Lee homage cover. Lots of Lee homage covers. This is very loosely based on something, we think. Do you want to tell people, or you want to have them guess?
So we spent more time on this cover than any other because, you know, it's like, oh, it's a Jim Lee homage cover, but what is it to? And we have a few guesses, and mine actually just changed. So I noticed the way they wrote Immortal, that's like the death metal. That's like metal and death metal font style.
Interesting.
So
What did the other one look like, though?
What did the other one? Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
it's the
the same.
same.
So you're right, it's the chainmail because that's what her curse
Yeah.
is. So, okay, so disregard what I said.
But I could see where you're coming from. That does feel like something out
It's
of
pretty
that.
metal of her to do.
Andy, you kind of think
Yeah,
you
there's
know.
a Suicide Squad number 0 cover. I believe it was like a free giveaway.
It was a Valentine's Day 2016.
Yes.
The Man-Bat one.
Yeah, with Harley Quinn riding on Man-Bat. But comparing them side by side, they're pretty different.
Yeah.
Just in general idea is the same.
So
if you
yeah,
guys have any better guesses, let us know in the comments. What could this be? The Lee homage cover for this.
yeah, and I will say it's hard to see, but in the bottom right it does say after Jim Lee, so we know it is a Jim Lee homage.
Yeah.
So Andy's probably right, but let's
Either
hear
way,
it from
it's a
others.
really cool Red Sonja cover.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're on to other printings and graphic novels. So this is Hulk number 5 is going to second print. Surprise, surprise. Every issue of Donny Cates Hulk so far has gone to at least second print. This one is no different. So if you want to grab all those covers, or you missed it, you stored it and pull it or something, here's a chance to get Hulk number 5 second print.
Okay, then we have a trade paperback for Justice League Last Ride. This is $16.99, collects 1 through 7 of the miniseries by Chip Zdarsky, and it's about sometime in the not so distant future, the Justice League has broken up. Why have they broken up? Why can't they trust each other anymore? And what is the situation that comes up that may force them back together and figure out their differences? So this was a really cool miniseries, and now you can read the whole thing.
One of the most anticipated comics of the past year, King Spawn, is finally getting a trade paperback. This is a 1 through 6, only $9.99. Obviously, this is not the final cover design, as it so clearly tells us on here. But yeah, if you miss out on this somehow, get it all together. Issues 1 through 6.
I like that McFarlane's, his prices per issue is $2.99, and then he's still sticking with that Image Volume 1 $9.99 price
great.
point.
Okay, so they are releasing a hardcover volume for Spectacular Spider-Man. This is going to be $125, but for that, it's 928 pages. It's Spectacular Spider-Man number 1 through 42. It also includes the annual. There was just one annual in that amount of time, and Fantastic Four number 218. So a lot of material, 928 pages for just $125 if you want to read all that Spectacular Spider-Man. This is the Buscema cover to it, because of course Marvel usually gives you a choice of two different covers on this, the more classic one, or this is the Cockrum.
I wonder why they did
it.
this one. And so this was Spider-Man's second ongoing series,
right after
the first second series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean he was in Team Up
Yeah.
and he was in Spidey Stories, but it wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
This is like his true second volume, and that's the show.
Very light week
Very
this
light.
week. Light Easter week, who knows why. But we appreciate you all for watching. Hopefully you found some of this information useful. If so, please hit subscribe, leave us a comment below, let us know if you liked it. And please check us out tonight, me on Whatnot at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be doing a lot of ratio variants tonight, so come help make our second show successful. And Andy will be doing an action figure feature show here in the next few weeks as well. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a great Easter weekend. We'll see you next time.